Cool. So I think we have a good quorum, so we can get started. Hello everybody. Thanks for joining back. Welcome to Friday Funda. Your host Dayan here from F1. So I think you already would have heard of little bit of a glimpse of what we are having conversation with Murli. We have a good quorum, so we can get started. Just a sec. I went live, so it just got. Yep. So we have today a great speaker who's I would say an entrepreneur and an educator. That's what he's trying to hit a balance, trying to pedal both, right? So we have Muralidhar Reddy, who's a professor and director of CMR University, School of Architecture, right? And apart from that, he's the founder of a design circle, a very sustainable product design firm based out of Bangalore. And a little bit of a quick background on his education, very strong design background again. He did his architecture from BMS College of Architecture, and then specialized in product design at IDC IIT Bombay. Has been around in the field for almost kind of 2 decades now, and and he's the right person to talk about this a very very need of the hour kind of a talk, right? So today, the world is urging that we need specialists, right? So we don't want somebody who can do a kind of a jack of all, right? So we want somebody who's a master of something, right? So that's a typical dilemma which is going through a lot of young designers today. And but our speaker, he thinks otherwise, right? He thinks this is what it actually keeps him, on his toes, trying to, these distractions and disruptions is what it actually motivates him. So let's understand from Murli, like how as a design entrepreneur and how as a design educator, he's trying to hit the balance between these two, and why he thinks what is a better way to approach, right? Thanks, Murli, for joining here. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Dan. Thanks, Dan. Thanks a lot. So when Dan got in touch and asked me to be a part of the Friday Funda, which I've been following, I was very excited that I'm going to be part of it. But at the same time, I was a little nervous as to what is it that I'm going to talk about, because when I saw all the previous speakers, they were all pretty much known people, common friends from IDC and architecture. And then when I saw quite a few of them, it was a common thread which was coming through. It was people were sharing their journey. It was not about they were really giving any of their design fundas here. It was very clear that way. So what I'm going to share today is my experiences. Now, I would start by saying that I would like to call myself a generalist. There are certain areas which I have gone in depth. No, I don't want to call myself a specialist still. Okay. So I would like to put across my story right from my childhood, because I want to tell the audience as to how events and different stakeholders have shaped my career or my journey. So I would straight away get into it. At the end of it, I would like to know what the audience thinks who I am. So can you see my screen there?
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, this is a thing,
make
and
full screen, Murli. That'll be
just a second. It's not full screen, is it?
no. I'm just seeing that the toolbar. Maybe even we can hide that, I guess.
1 second. How about now?
Yeah, I think it's okay. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, so to talk about this is a very favorite topic of mine, because it's something which I very strongly believe as designers and in any field where a lot of collaboration is there, I believe that we all, it's a need of the hour to understand people better also. I believe it's something which we all need to be as a generalist. So without getting into much, when I started preparing for the presentation, so I came across some of these things. So it was a little funny for me that as a generalist, you go to everyone, and as a specialist, everyone comes to you. And then something like this came up. Now, then as it went, I saw it was there's ton of material which is done on this thing, and I thought, let's not get into that side at all, and just let's get into telling my journey. And when I was very confident about uh, the various learnings which has happened across. So what I believe is that all of us at many points in our day-to-day life or in our careers, we are mile wide, inch deep, and inch wide, mile deep at many points of time. So if someone says they are completely specialist or completely generalist, it's something they need to relook at. So this is something which happens throughout. Now, recently I've been reading this book. I would highly recommend this thing, where uh, David Epstein has actually looked into this whole phenomena and given very good case studies about why it is a necessity for us to be generalists. Now, after this, I would just like to take you through my journey. How I've structured this presentation is I've just put across various stages in my life till now, right from my childhood, early education, and my uh, 5-year BArc, and after a BArc, before I joined MDes, and how my MDes at IIT made an impact, and what were the struggles or what happened after my tenure at IDC. Then my studio up till 2014, and from 2014 the transition what happened. So I would just like to tell a story, and I have put in some of my works just to make it visual. So, and I would also tell about my various I would call them uh, distractions, and not call them hobbies or anything, because somehow I was not able to convince myself to call them hobbies, because these distractions are what are feeding me, challenging me, and it's like my way of many a times my way of pause points or meditation point for me. Now, again, since I'm claiming to be a generalist, it was very difficult to choose which area of my work I would like to present. So I would like the audience feedback at the end of it to know what is the thing, their feedback. So going forward, my childhood, uh, I'm born and brought up in Bangalore. So the area where I grew up in Bangalore is at that point of time in the 80s, it was hardly 7 kilometers, 7 to 8 kilometers from the center of the city. That means uh, I have had the privilege of both being in Bangalore city, exposing to the Bangalore city culture, and being part of a rural kind of background. And also, I was part of, by fate, I was part of a humongous joint family. I again, as a matter of fate, I think I grew up in my maternal grandparents' home. I have about 40 plus first cousins of all hues and shades and characters. So, and then my maternal grandparents have had both of them have had a very big impact on my growing. I would like to tell a little about them little later. And then the biggest impact for on my thinking and the design and what we have been living is about the agro economy or an agrarian lifestyle. And this has had a huge impact. And my ultimate aim is, if there's anything called retirement, I would like to retire as a farmer. So that apart, in my childhood, I one of the biggest thing I regret and is a major flip side is this whole emphasis on patriarchy in the family where I grew up. I'm a daughter's kid, so it was I was literally bullied in my childhood that I'm a daughter's kid and I'm staying in the maternal home. So uh, this is something I've put it in a gray shade, and uh, I don't have to. I hope I don't have to, or anyone else has to go through that kind of childhood. But otherwise, my childhood has been very happy and colorful. So this is what I was talking about. It's the I was very close to Bangalore city, so there was both the city and the village I've grown up. It has had a huge impact on my growing up, the way I think, the knowledge systems, how I'm able to connect the traditional knowledge systems and the thing, how I'm able to recall proverbs, how I'm able to think in a certain language. So, and as Bangalore is a very cosmopolitan thing, city, I'm familiar with at least 5 languages, and every Bangalorean does that. So, all these growing years have been had a very positive impact. Now, talking about my maternal grandfather, so these genes and DNA are very powerful. So uh, I have not interacted with him so much because he was a very what do you say, a very strict kind of a person. Uh, and he passed away when I was 6 years old or 7 years old. But whatever I've observed, and if I look back, I can see a lot of qualities that have, like it or not, have been put on to me. So one of the thing what I really appreciate and really see is that he was a value creator. That means he used to create value out of seemingly nothing, whether it was situation or a material or anything. He was a self-taught person. He had no formal education, but the way he had self-taught himself, he had amazing abilities which would challenge well educated people. And he looked at a lot of future possibilities today. So that is something, an amazing quality. And also, since he was a contractor, a farmer, and all these things, he used to source things at the right place and right time. So when he found something useful, he used to immediately pick it up, knowing its value, that sometime, somewhere, things are going to be useful. So that way, he had maintained a huge inventory. And it was just that the next generation and the generation after that, they had seen so much in plenty that they failed to realize that there's a lot of effort which has gone into putting together those inventory. So that was one thing. And then he was a born entrepreneur. So he used to see possibilities, and then he had an amazing risk-taking ability to take that risk and uh, promote that possibility. And another big quality, what I've always appreciated, that no matter how much he had gained or how much he had achieved, he always believed in being frugal, not in a negative sense, but in a very positive sense. Whatever success and things he had achieved never went on to his head. He was a real leader that way. Now, another quality what I've noticed is he had a pretty clear idea of what should be centralized and what should be distributed, because he the huge family he had to manage. This is something he had very well experienced. So now going to my grandmother, my Nani. So she was an amazing person. She's the one who I had a lot of interaction with. If anyone I could identify as a grandparent, it is her. So what I got from her is the values, and the stories she used to tell was full of those life lessons. So, and it was these stories were about values. It was about wisdom from the past, and it was so much of general knowledge at one place. And till the end, she lived a very simple lifestyle, very simple food, and there's a lot of knowledge transfer which happened from her in terms of lifestyle, food habits, and how she had managed things. Again, this one word I will keep bringing up again and again: frugality and slowness. Slowness was one of her things. She never used to get angry, and no matter what the situation is, she used to handle it so well. And again, she's the person who lot of encouragement she used to uh, give in when I used to go and discuss with her. And we used to play a lot of games, all the village games. It's been close to 2 decades that she left us. Even today, if I just close my eyes, she's there. She was that powerful in my life. So, of course, apart from my parents. Now, uh, this is what I can tell about her. And then the agrarian lifestyle. That is when I say I was in the city, but also in the village. So what I've gained from these things, which have strongly influenced the way I look at design, also is the traditional knowledge systems. That is the wisdom from the past. How today, when we have to define, we need a lot of theory for everything. If we have to accept something today, if we have to talk about sustainability, we have to look at a lot of papers and books and organizations. But a simple village lifestyle was always sustainable. They knew that they had to bow down to nature and go along with it. There was never a question about it. And this was because it's something which was passed on from generations, and people very well understood it through the festivals, through the rituals, and they knew what food to eat at what season, and why do they have to do it like that, and the games they used to play, and how community activities used to keep people together, and how problems used to be solved. Somehow, in our schools and in our educational institutions, there's a need for these things to come in if we really have to address issues, because all these things used to happen from within a person, within an individual. It used to come outside. So next, I would like to talk a little about my early schooling. That is, when I say early schooling, it's my the primary and my high school and the plus two. It was a it is very important for me to talk about this thing, because most of the schooling what I've been part of is either been very small private schools or government aided schools. Why was this important? Because it had students from all backgrounds. Now, that means there was no, when you went into the school, there was a, that's why I like this whole idea of having uniforms in the school, because it kind of brings everyone to a level, no matter who you are. And then uh, during those times, at least in the schools where I've studied, there were not any convent schools or things. So there was a lot of free time to be kids. There was a less of a rat race mode, and because we were all from various backgrounds, very soon I could realize the value of money, which is something all of us agree. If we don't get this uh, important aspect of getting the value of money, no matter which generation you belong to, it's a definite sure shot recipe for disaster. Now, and again, here in all the schools where I've studied, why I've put multiple sport mode is that there was one very small playground, or it used to be one playground for a huge number of kids. So it always used to be, there's no specialized, you're in the hockey team or you're in the football team or anything like that. Everyone used to play everything. Because in our high school, I remember in the lunchtime, everyone used to play football with what either it's a tennis ball or a rubber ball. About 40 or 50 teams used to play football in that 1 hour in that one ground, whatever is available. So I see this generalist tendencies right from that point of time. Another important part of these growing years was I was always in touch with ground realities and in connect with what was happening on the street. So though I don't call myself street smart, but yeah, this has always helped me. It has put me in touch with realities. Now, this is something when we are educated within very four closed walls, we don't get these life lessons. And also, uh, whatever resources you have, it had to be put into multiple uses. The schools used to do it, and as students, uh, we were more or less we had to get used to doing these things. So after my 12th, I'd like to talk a little about BARC. So my architecture school was based inside one of the oldest engineering colleges, and whatever I could do or done during the 5 years, it is not really because of the system, but in spite of it. So the 5 years, I would like to look at it in a positive way, because it led me to think for myself, or fend for myself during those 5 years. Because during that time, the school itself didn't have a major vision or very powerful or influential teachers. So that led me that I had to fend for myself, collaborate and learn, work with seniors, and that's how the learning happened. And this was one time when I realized how big a teacher travel is. So I got to travel in an amazing way and learned a lot, and also realized that there is so much learning outside the formal setup, irrespective whether it's architecture or design or any other field of learning. There's a lot which needs to be done outside the formal setup, and that also made me realize that in any institution, uh, how crucial it is for people with a vision to be there, and it matters a lot. And the most important is, since now I am head of a school, that's something which uh, taught me as to what not to do. Coming to after my BR, so when I finished my BArc, I thought I didn't have a very clear picture that I'm going to do masters, or what which area I'm going to do masters and all those things. I just got on to working. 1 year I worked with a senior as an architect, and most of the time, like all of us who have worked in architect's office, it's very rarely we would have done any project from scratch to finish. So mine was the same case, but a lot of different kinds of projects were handled at that time. And then I joined uh, Kiri and later Quetzal as a furniture designer. Now, that 2 years was really a defining period for me, and my decision to pursue MDes. Sandeep Mukherjee has been uh, one of my gurus who kind of shaped what happens next, kind of a thing. It was here that I was pushed into situations where I got to work on a variety of projects, large projects, and this is where I realized few things which will continue for the rest of my uh, career and later into education. One of the things is that in an organization, a very small contribution can make a big difference. So here I would not be showing any works and thing, but I would like to talk about these things. So here, apart from handling, being part of bigger projects with Sandeep, I have done few small fixtures and hardware, which made a big difference to whether it was in execution, whether it was in the finish of the thing, whether it was costing. So this is one major life lesson for me, that your contribution might be very small, but it makes a big difference in the overall picture. And this is where the start of systems thinking happened in me, and something which has been continuous, and I would like to further pursue in that mode of thinking. And also, uh, this is where I realized the importance of speaking people's language. Now, when I say speaking people's language, it might be literally speaking someone's language, or understanding and empathizing with others' situation. The whole aspect of empathy started here for me. When I say people speaking people's language, I used to interact with various vendors, someone who's very technically sound, and someone who's educated, and someone who's not educated. The moment you start speaking their language, things used to get done so easily. So the next point, what I realized is that how I bonded with one material immediately. So my that way my relationship with this material is continued, and this is where I can say that it's gone deep. Okay, and this is where also the whole aspect of the importance of, as a designer, to understand your tools, materials, and processes. No matter what tools are you using, no matter what your materials are, your processes are. So the relationship between these three aspects was something which was very crucial, and which I came to know by being here. Again, uh, how important it is to be frugal when you're part of a business, or when you're running a business, when you're doing a project. This is somewhere I saw, if this is not done, what happens. Now, coming to another important phase in my life, I'm heavily indebted, firstly, to talk about the admission process itself. So, frankly, to tell you, I'm a very average student. In that sense, I'm not a 80%, 90% kind of a guy. But with the to test or to check the correct attitude, and to check based on the work what I have done. So the admission process was amazing, that I explain myself and be part of the MDes course. This is something all our institutions should look at. This that stop looking at it as a one size fits all situation. IDCs, when I joined and when I went through it, uh, myself and my uh, future wife were two in our batch who had like done architecture and had 3 years of work experience before joining architecture. So after joining IDC, one thing which really what I gained is to unlearn, relearn, and be a lifelong learner. Now, this is something I can never repay in any sense to my alma mater. And then about the campus culture, what the IIT campus gave, it was an amazing learning experience by itself. And next, I uh, was fortunate enough to have had the best design teachers you could find in the country. So, if I keep naming, it's a very long list. Just to talk, I would acknowledge the contribution of Professor Rao, Professor Atwankar, and Professor Bandari, Professor Bapat, and many more. And that is where the foundation for the entrepreneurship was laid for me, where all the projects what I've done, even today, one way or the other, they are feeding me, they're helping me out. And then I had a good opportunity to learn from craftsmen, because as part of my industrial training, I worked with all the for 1 month. I worked with master craftsmen in the state of Nagaland. So that was a big learning experience for me, and taught like about, we keep telling our country is great, but till you travel all over the country, you really won't realize how great is our country and how vast we are. The most important part of IDC is, of course, I met my life partner, my most important critic, Ritu there. So this was the project which started the whole thing, because this was designed to be for a small studio production kind of a thing, and it was designed to be produced by a woodworking unit, and that's where this whole thing started. So now, coming to the years after, initial years after IDC, uh, first decision which we had much before taken was that we are not going to sit for any campus placements. So that was a little odd thing at that time to happen in IITs, that you don't sit in a campus placement, because people used to immediately at their end of the course, they used to start discussing what should be the package they should get. So we were the odd specimens. We didn't sit for a campus placement. So straight away came back to Bangalore, and we started a partnership firm with one of my friends called Enzo Furniture. Now, the Enzo, the word is from the Zen circle. It's an incomplete circle, but it's a something which keeps growing, and forever it's open for new ideas and so on. So from there, we started off, and for various reasons, that firm could not go beyond a year, and we then started a design circle based on the same Zen circle, but somehow we didn't want to continue with the name, so we call it as Design Circle. And from the year 2004 to 7, it was a proprietary concern. And then when in 2007 it was converted into a partnership concern. It is basically to make use of what the different types of entities offer, and this is something which the design schools don't teach, as to how you go about actually setting up things. And till 2014, Design Circle was I was part of Design Circle fully, and then in 2014 the transition happened. And during when we initially started, a lot of influences from the early work. I'll show you them through images. So these are the initial work what we produced, which had a lot of influence from my earlier work experience at Sandeep's. So these are the two initial projects I see, and over a period of time, then we developed our language, the way we use material, and there is one continuous thread. What you'll see is about the influence of the Buddhist thinking or the Scandinavian design, about how material is treated, how a joint is treated, or how a finish matters. All these things have become part of our language, and I could easily connect it and sing. So I hope I get a feedback from the audience on that. So these are some of the later ones which evolved, and we started developing our own language. And this is when we started using, started repurposing timber. So this is the time when, for the first time, I got to go to Europe. So I had to keep my boys in the studio engaged. So we got a lot of packaging timber. They were told to press slabs, different slabs, and that is what you see here. But this clearly gave us a language, and which is continued till date, where the material and its qualities have been highlighted. So I'll just brush through these things. So as material was used, there was a lot of fallout which was coming, and then having our project backgrounds, we didn't want to let go of these things as a waste, and these suddenly became learning products. And this is something what we have been trying, where in our studio, we wanted as much as possible a zero waste entity. Now I can't say with sureness or this thing that ours is a zero waste entity, but we tried to be a zero waste entity. So this is how the languages continue to develop. And I have put the works as they have developed, so you can see the difference. For example, this particular top, what you see, is completely made of timber which have been rejects from the sawmills. So what we do is we add value uh, through our design, through our detail, and through the finish. So it's no longer about material. So it's about has been added, and this is where I see in the larger of manpower. How do we bring in that kind of a thing into industry? Because even in design schools and in architecture school, a lot of us are excited by how much robots can do, but we fail to realize that in a country like ours, we cannot afford to think in the same way where we can employ a lot of robots. We have a lot of people. We need to employ them first. We need to make them, we need to enable them first and then think of mechanizing, or then think of getting everything built by robots and things. So, and this is one of the works which got us the IAB Young Designers Award. So you continue seeing that the work, there is a certain simplicity to it. There's a certain slowness which gone to it. There's a certain precision which comes through it. And all these takes in a certain kind of slowness where you have to slow down to get to doing things like this. And this is another of our work which got the Triple ID Design Excellence Award. And this is another product which won the Triple ID award again, where this is a learning system for activity-based system for kids based on the Reggio Emilia system. Now, finally, coming to Dhyan, I'm in on time.
Yes,
The
yes,
time,
yeah,
yeah.
yep.
So,
No worries.
So this is the place where I transition from how the transition happened. So because I was always involved as a participant or as a mentor for workshops. So I've always seen that the best teachers, the first thing they do is they inspire. Now, here, I would like to talk about this was always in me that somewhere I would get into education. I had a lot of involvement with workshops, and in 2010 and 13, I was part of this workshop called Toys for Rehabilitation in Germany, where uh, it was about designing for special needs. And my area of interest has been designed for the elderly. And this is where, after being part of these and as both as a participant and a mentor, we have been conducting workshops. And right from the beginning, one of the important things what we have followed is that we are going to design, we are going to execute it, and we are going to deliver it. So it has been both positive and negative, because we don't get recognized for the design as such, because there's no separate design component as such. It's part and part. Your design definition goes to the last point of your execution. And this is where our approach to the thing, because we have to invest money in the plant, material, and the finishes. If something goes wrong, you have to bear the cost of it. We have been having a kind of kabadi wala approach in terms of material usage. We are very, very particular about using the material. So there's, as I already mentioned, a lot of fallout of people becomes our starting raw material. So now this is the product what I was mentioning when I was part of the workshop, where we had to design toys for the elderly. And then whatever work we've done, we put together and sent it as a poster to sustainability conference in TU Delft. And this poster was mentioned as the best poster at that time. And I was mentor for the next workshop. What happened in Nuremberg, where one of the toys for elderly, we talk about inclusive design and all those things. That's where this whole idea was tested out as to how can we be inclusive at many levels. Because when we say design for elderly, unless you have an elder at home, you can't realize what is the whole process what you go through. So towards the end, I would just like to talk about few of my what I can give, for what I can my takeaways through till date. So one is about as an entrepreneur, you have to be a risk taker. There's never a right time to start. It's always the right time to start. You cannot learn swimming by sitting on the bank. You have to get into the action mode. And then you need to have a lot of resilience. There are a lot of failures which are going to happen. And whatever I have learned, it's been through taking a beating. So you have to be resilient. You have to bounce back and come to it. And then this is something which is very, very close to all the work what we do. Being planet friendly is not an option. Okay, it's not for us what we are doing, it's for our kids what we are doing. And then it's important that when you're running an enterprise, you have to be really frugal while running it. For us, it applies from scratch to the finish. And I believe distractions are very important. For me, my distractions have been many. So, like I work with leather. I'm into baking sourdough breads, and I carve wooden bowls. Then I make tools, especially knives. And then, as I said, all of these things, one way or the other, have been connected to my studio. Either they have been a source of my raw material or a source of addressing my tool needs. So this is one thing which all of us should have, as many distractions as possible. Now, again, here, tomorrow I don't know what is a new distraction I'm going to take up. But if there is a opening, I'm definitely going to go for it, because this is where I might not be an expert baker, I might not be an expert leather worker, but I have a affinity towards tools, and I know that if I pick up something, I learn fast, so I do it. And the last one and most important one is, you have to be a disruptor. In your organization, you have to keep disrupting, because you shouldn't get into a comfort zone. And this disruption is what will keep you on your toes. So this is something and invariably your disruption and your risk taking are brothers. So they will. There's a lot of, if you keep disrupting, there's a lot of risk you're going to take, and then there's a question of failure. You'll have to deal with it. Okay, so I'll run through some of the work which I call my disruptions. So this is out of my saw blades, what come out of my workshop. I've done a lot of knives. So this is something what I had sent for the competition, for the Triple ID competition, which I'm sure they never thought it was worth as a design, but nevertheless, this included all my things of work using wood, metal, and then my work with leather. They've all, over a period of time, they've developed, and I kind of have gotten my own signature details. Photography is something which has been there with me from '94, when my father gave me my first Pentax K1000. So this is my way of capturing things. And again, if you ask me what genre I click, there's absolutely no genre. So anything and everything I find interesting, I click it. So these are some of them, and this is from my one of my most favorite places, Banaras. So this is the Bahubali's feet in Shravan Belgola. So finally, the biggest disruption what has happened till now for me is in 2014, when I was entrusted with a huge architecture as part of the CMR University. Our university, CMR University, is a very young university. It was started in the year 2013, and in 2014 we started working on it, and 2015 May the first batch started classes in the school. So when I was given this responsibility by the chairman and the chancellor and the management, it was a huge responsibility for me, because I didn't know the A of academics. So, but it was I was excited about this challenge, and I readily jumped to it. Along the way, I've had great mentors to guide me, including Dr. Anand Krishna, Professor Rao, and many others. And I have very young and dynamic colleagues in the school. So we are implementing all the things what till now you've been hearing about, whether be it frugality or resilience, or school being biased towards issues of sustainability. For me, it's a win-win situation. Being part of a big organization, I try to bring in my inputs as an entrepreneur into the school, and learnings from a big organization I bring back to my studio, and we've been growing together. So yeah, so I think that's where I end what I had to say. Yeah, now it's up to you what questions you have, or
Yep. Yeah, I mean, thanks, Muli. I think it was a wonderful session. So we are able to figure out that how you brought the connection between your childhood to schooling to how it is actually you started practicing design, right? And so we can see that the sustainable factor of it, and then how you're trying to extend it to your university as well, right? So yeah, definitely we do have a bunch of questions from the audience. So let's see how much we can take. We are already like little. Top of the hour now. So the first question I think is a little bit towards your current studio, right? So design circle. So what's the core philosophy, you guys? So apart from just trying to focus on the sustainable factor, so what is the core philosophy you guys? So apart from just trying to focus on the sustainable factor, So we know that you're exploring this material of wood and wood, right? So how do you guys try and envision the need in the product? Is it like, does it come from the consumer side, or is it like more of what you guys feel right is what you try and do as a boutique? So just trying to understand the philosophy of your design studio.
One of the things what we have done right from the beginning, Dhyan, that whatever we have seen to it that our overheads are kept to the minimum, because that is one way we could survive with all the madness kind of a thing what we've been doing, because we don't have a production line. uh, Most of our furniture, what you see is a boutique line kind of a thing. Uh, but we use the same infrastructure. For example, we have done a lot of furniture for the institutions. So the same infrastructure goes in for the educational furniture, where there is a certain volume involved. So that's where we try to balance the economies of scale. But as a thing right from the beginning, we have tried to avoid uh, matching ourselves with the industry. That is what time to time, where if you see all the office furniture kind of a thing, where a lot of plastic is used for edge banding and all those things, which require a lot of huge investment in terms of plant and machinery. And also, it's a kind of a rat race. If you put in a lot of money into the thing, you need to keep on bringing in work, and it's a very this thing. I have seen a lot of huge infrastructure with industries starting and shutting down. And if we had forever thought in that sense, we should have shut shop long time back. But somehow we have kept it really, really frugal. Even today, I have about four boys working for me, which they take care of all the things, and both of us. So that's how we've kept it. And most of the products, what you see, is starts with the client's requirement. So then, when I put across that this is how we use the material and this is how we do it, clients already understand that yes, this is what we appreciate, and that's been happening like that. So, and we try to see to it that uh, whatever furniture or products what we've done, they uh, gain value over time. That is
Mhm.
something I'm very proud to tell also, that what was purchased 10 years back, today its value is increased.
Mhm.
Rather, any other piece of furniture which you pick up mass manufactured ones, moment it leaves the shop, it loses value. So
Absolutely.
this is something we are really proud of.
Wow, brilliant. Yep. So yeah, that actually paves way to another question. So do you think that so when you try and follow this kind of a sustainable model, so scaling will be a problem? So what's your take on that? So why is that? Why can't like you still follow the core principles of being in this kind of a model, and then why can't we expand, right?
We can scale up there, and that is what we have been forever thinking, but it's still not done as a this thing, where we need to uh, uh, distribute the manufacturing part of it. In the sense, when you say distribute it, you team up with certain smaller uh, entrepreneurs, different craftsmen, and that way you scale up. If someone wants a certain number of quantity, you deliver it, but not doing the whole thing by yourself, but which is distributed into much smaller pockets. So that way you can have a not much loss happening at one place, or huge infrastructure at one place. Though a
Yep.
lot of big entities are following it, that to have control over cost and quality, they want everything under one roof. But there is a way that you can do it in a distributed way also, and that's the real way you can address sustainability issues.
Yep.
Footprint,
Yes.
lesser footprint.
Yep, yep, totally. Yeah. So it's kind of a basically trying to contradict ourselves, right? So yeah, trying to defeat the purpose of mass scale
Yeah.
production, trying to do it in a very more sustainable way. Yep. So in terms of I would say the materials, so I think you already fall in love with this wood. So what's is there anything beyond that, timber and wood, right? So you also mentioned leather a little bit, but what else do you guys explore? Some other material and stuff.
The image what you're seeing,
Uh,
we've done this in the school. So this is like uh, bamboo is another material. Of course, you know the influence of Professor Rao, and right
Absolutely.
from the time and when we went to Nagaland and worked with various craftsmen. See, this is like a 5 meter high basket, literally, where then it is coated with cement and things. So this, when we are talking today about parametrics and all those things, it is possible where you apply these kind of techniques and involve a lot of people and still use your rhino and all those things to work out, and then we can address so many issues, whether it comes to housing or things where we talk about affordability, we talk about lesser footprint. There are huge possibilities that way. So I see in the school is where you can give these sparks. Now I don't know where they're going to go, where the students are going to apply these things, but this I believe these are the sparks you'll have to set in the schools, the students.
Got it. Yep, yep. So a little bit, touching base with our core topic. So, are there any tips where where you can strike a balance between being a generalist and a specialist?
I
So,
personally, I feel I've already done it,
uh,
but when I say tips, uh, so yeah, there are some things which automatically catch on to you. You need to nurture them. You need to nurture them, but then it's important to try out a lot of things. So, for example, I was talking about this book Range. In that, the training methods of uh, Tiger Woods and uh, the our Wimbledon champion. Uh,
Federer or
yes, why am I forgetting that name? Roger Federer.
yeah,
So his training method and Tiger Woods' training method has been compared, where Tiger Woods, from the age 6 months, he was being trained in golf, and Federer, till he was very in his 18 years or something, he used to play anything with the ball, and then he took up tennis. So they speak about why Federer's method of being involved with multiple games helped him in his tennis. So I would urge everyone to just take that book and read. It's a very beautiful book.
yep, yep, awesome. So I think we are almost kind of 8 past 1 hour. Maybe one last question, and in fact I had two questions. So how in terms of design, I would say school of thought. So how different is CMR in terms of the way how you see it being, because you're one of the in a board level. So what do you see like CMR being different from other typical D schools or any other in architecture college? And how are you trying to bring your this whatever learning you've done from design circle towards that?
See, I firstly the D school in CMR is yet to take off, because this was a precursor for the D school. But I feel it's very important in the architectural education also that every school has to relook at what they've been doing, because the 2020 regulations, what the Council of Architecture has come up is pretty well done that way, which very specifically tells each school has to come up with their own thing depending on the context where they are based, and they have to uh, like do their own thing. Here, our university's core ideas have directly been trickling down to the school. That's where I have been since we started very early. Those things have been like being addressed. The core values of the university also have been addressed, and I see the kind of leadership what we have at the university. Very very dynamic in that sense. So and they are aware of they're very very design conscious. Let me tell you, it's a very simple way of putting it rather than trying to explain a lot. They are very very design conscious. They understand the power of design.
Yeah, yep. And I think I believe that architecture itself is a very generalist course, right?
Yeah.
For designers, and it's a great start for everybody who wants to start their career in design. Yep. Well, thanks a ton, Murli. I think it was a pleasure having you with us, and yeah,
Thanks a lot for the platform. And I remember that the start of IDC, there were three guys who came from SAP, and all three are in different molds, but each one of you doing amazing work in your own ways. So it was good catching up. It's been 17 years since we've caught up.
Absolutely. Yep. Same here. Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Yep. And we'll try and catch up next week again. Yep. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.